Hello, everybody. Well, hello. Welcome to the Victoria Stilwell Academy. Ask Us Anything. I'm going to wait till you all join. And I'm so excited that you guys are here today. And for those of you going to be listening to it later, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are really excited to bring some great people to speak to you today. This isn't a session to ask dog training questions. Sorry. I'll be doing other Facebook Lives, but to do that. So check out my Facebook. But this is a place where you can ask, if you are interested in becoming a dog trainer and you are interested in learning more about this course, this is a place that you can come to and find out loads of information about it. From the very mouths of the people who teach it, who have taken it, who are in the process of taking it, who are faculty advisors for it, and from myself and from our wonderful founder and CEO, Van Zyler. The Victoria Stilwell Academy, gosh, I think we are in our 6th year now. This is the thing that I wanted to do right from the start, from when I started It's Me or the Dog all those years ago, that I wanted to, even when I started as a trainer years before that, I wanted to give out information to people so that to improve their lives with their dogs. But in order to do that, there have to be more trainers out there that teach in the right way. And so the Victoria Stilwell Academy was always something that I wanted to do. And I think it's probably my most important, apart from my kid, my most important baby. And so I'm very, very excited for you guys to be joining here today. I'm going to quickly introduce everybody. If you guys could introduce yourselves and quickly say something, just a very quick intro about yourselves and why you're part of VSA, that would be wonderful. So first of all, Lisa Wagner, welcome.
Hello, thank you everyone for joining us. Happy to be here. I'm a faculty member, I'm a faculty advisor. So not only am I working with this amazing team of people to roll out the teaching of this academy, I get to work with students every single day, helping them gain skills to become a professional dog trainer. And I love my work.
Thank you. And next up we have Brad Wagner, no relation at all.
Oh, well. A little bit, perhaps. Yeah, I am Brad Wagner. It's a joy to be here as always. I also am on faculty for Victoria Stilwell Academy and serve as faculty advisor. Lisa and I, both from the get-go, from the ground up, working with VSA has been just a joy, and it just couldn't be any better. So we're happy to be here and share what we know with you guys today.
And next up is Tiffany Lowell. Welcome, Tiffany.
Thanks, Victoria. Tiffany Lovell. I am both a faculty advisor and also an enrollment coordinator. So I have the pleasure of speaking to all of the amazing applicants who are eager to learn more about dog training and how to become a professional dog trainer. And it's my pleasure to speak with people all around the world and help them start on their journey to becoming in their community someone who can really change lives. So glad to be here.
Thanks, Tiffany. Next up is Maya. Welcome.
Thank you, Victoria. I am also a faculty advisor, so I get to work directly with students as they start or continue their education journey in teaching both humans and dogs. And I'm also lucky enough to work on the content side of Positively. So also getting a chance to influence folks who are not interested in being a professional dog trainer, but just want a better life with their dogs with the information that's out there.
Great. Thanks, Maya. Okay, next up, we have Christina Wagner, who's truly no relation to either Lisa or Brad Wagner. Christina.
Hello. Thank you. I'm Christina Wagner, Operations Manager for Victoria Stilwell Academy. I'm mostly behind the scenes, helping to make everything run smoothly, and I look forward to welcoming you to our course.
And now we have Tara. Welcome, Tara.
Thank you, Victoria. Hi, and welcome everybody. I'm Tara, and I'm a faculty advisor as well as a mentor, which means I get to help both in-person and online students find their way into the dog training world. And I also do work for the content for the Positively site, mostly with the images as well. And I couldn't imagine a better mission to support.
Thank you, Tara. Next up, we have Ali.
Hello, I am Ali Lesner. I'm the curriculum manager here at Victoria Stilwell Academy. So if you have any questions about getting nerdy with adult learning, or you want to learn more about what goes on in the lessons in our assessments and anything else, I'm excited to answer your questions.
Thank you so much, Ali. Now we have Stephen. Welcome, Stephen.
Hi, I'm Stephen Cogswell. I'm in Denver, Colorado, and I just graduated from the online course in February. Yes, oh, it's so good. And I'm extremely excited. I'm going to be doing the in-person track here in Atlanta starting in June. I just can't wait.
Fantastic, Stephen. We're very excited. And here we have Mariana. Welcome, Mariana.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me here. My name's MJ, and I graduated in March of 2021 and have been a professional dog trainer ever since. I did the online course, hoping to one day get to the in-person trainer course, but for right now, I'm ecstatic to be running my own business in a completely different atmosphere and profession than what I was in before.
And I think that's, that's the important thing. We have people that take our course that are literally out of college and they want to become dog trainers. That's it. That's their thing. And we have people, this is a second or sometimes even a third career. For me, this was a second career. Becoming a dog trainer was a second career. So I really, I just encourage people, if you're thinking of going down that path and making the change, that do it. I don't care how old you are, do it, because it is such a worthwhile profession. And now it's sort of my pleasure to introduce our founder and CEO, Van Zyler, who is going to be taking you on a little journey through VSA. Welcome, Van.
Thank you. Real quick, though, I think we have, maybe your screen didn't show. We have two other people.
Joe, no, it didn't. Terrible. Oh, here we go. No, it's not. Joe Pay. Joe. Now it is. That's
Hello.
Me. That's my Joe Pay is our wonderful European coordinator. Take it away, Joe.
Hi, everybody. It's lovely to see all of your faces. So I work on Victoria Stilwell Academy in the UK. I'm a faculty advisor and I coordinate and teach on the in-person track over here in the UK. And I'm super proud to be here with you and helping all of our students on their journey.
And Joe's got lessons in about 30 minutes, so she's going to have to pop off. But
sorry,
but that's fine. But we're so glad that you could be with us. And then last, by truly no means least, Patrick, welcome.
Thank you, Victoria. Welcome, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Patrick Flynn. I'm the founder of Patrick's Pet Care in Washington, D.C. Patrick's Pet Care does dog Montessori school, force-free training, and fear-free grooming. I've sent four of my staff to Victoria Stilwell Academy for their online course. I have done the online course and the in-person track. I've sent many more to the fundamentals class. So my business was made possible in large part by Victoria Stilwell and the Academy. It's a great group of people. I'm happy to be here and to answer all of your questions.
Fabulous. Thank you, Patrick. Sorry, I missed you guys. Yeah, I have a little tiny computer, so it didn't show everybody. But anyway, here we are then to the wonderful founder and CEO, Mr. Van Zyler. Take it away.
Thank you, Vic. And thanks to everyone, all of our panelists who are here. I'm Van Zyler. I am Victoria's husband, actually. We often forget to sometimes mention that. So husband and partner in every sense. And I'm the CEO of the Academy and the Victoria Stilwell Enterprises at large beyond the Academy, which includes Positively and all the other various TV and brand related ecosystem that we have. And we're thrilled to be able to have you all join us today for this Ask Us Anything session. We get questions obviously every day from all over the world about the Academy, about the courses that we run and that we offer. And we wanted to be able to take a moment here and have you hear, not just from us, but from our team and from those who have been in and who are currently in the process of going through our courses, to really get a sense and a flavor for what it's all about. So this is a session for you guys, and we're excited to be able to help provide it for you. I thought I would just take a couple of minutes and sort of set the scene for us all in terms of what VSA is and what we're doing. So I'm going to share here quickly and go through just our two main vocational related dog trainer courses. We have two courses. We have one course with an add-on track, and both of those courses are designed for three primary goals. One is obviously to train dogs, learn how to change behavior and help modify things. The other is to teach people. Equally important to your dog training skills is to be able to communicate with them, since those people are going to be that dog's primary leader and teacher and trainer over the course of their life. And then you could be the best dog trainer and human communicator in the world, but if no one knows your business exists, there's no way for you to be able to help those people. So we also focus on business smarts and the sort of marketing and branding and business management side of things as well. We have two courses. The online dog trainer course is a flexible length, self-paced, at-home, online-only study. It is our core flagship course offering, and it is comprised of several components. First, online lessons. This is the bulk of the course. We've got, they're separated by modules. Within modules are chapters. Inside chapters reside the actual lessons. And we'll get into sort of what those modules are in just a minute, but that's the sort of nuts and bolts of the material and how it's delivered primarily through the online dog trainer course. Within those lessons, there are activities. So we encourage, in terms of engagement with an online course, as Ali will mention, I'm sure, at various times today, if you're spending over 100 hours learning online content, it's imperative that we help engage you and that you stay engaged. And so activities are a big way that we do that within the courses. We also provide learning guides for every module, which are printable or certainly at least downloadable guides that help supplement and guide your overall learning experience. So they're written resources that you can use that actually have some worksheets in them, things like that as well. We assess knowledge. We'll get to skills in a minute, but for now we assess knowledge through quizzes, tests, and exams. There are 3 exams throughout the course, culminating in a final exam, which is cumulative. The end of each module has a test, and then there are quizzes sprinkled in to some of the lessons, just as sort of additional learning opportunities. Then we have skill assessments, where if knowledge is about what you know and what you're learning, the skills are about actually getting hands-on and doing it. And the majority of those involve you working with a dog, your own or another dog, flexible in terms of ways we can do that. We'll get into that more a little bit later in the Q&A. And then we have faculty advisors. So this is a key part of what we do and a huge linchpin of our learning experience, where every single online course student is assigned a dedicated faculty advisor for the length of their entire learning experience. And that faculty advisor is there to be a sounding board, to help clarify any curriculum-based questions, to help talk through any ideas that they may encounter when going through the course, but then also to conduct those skills assessments. So during your office hours, which can be as much as once a week, the faculty advisor will work with you to watch either recorded video or live video of you working with dogs. And then we'll conduct those assessments as much as needed in order for you to reach a successful level. And then we have occasional periodic webinars and get-togethers and social events and groups through it. We also have a dedicated Facebook group for students and graduates. We have a lot of different groups for different communities within VSA as well. So these are the 20 modules. Positively Philosophy sets the table. I won't go through all of them necessarily. You can read them here, but history, or maybe I will. Canine history and ethology, then into cognition, and sort of the progressive where dog training is really headed in terms of choice and an awareness of the dog's point of view in their canine experience, body language, the importance of enrichment, and then we get into some of the nuts and bolts of actually doing the behavior change, learning theory, functional assessments. I should caveat, I am not a dog trainer, so when I say these things, I've heard these smart people talk about it a lot, but it's not my fluent language. Managing behavior, the actual tools and methods used, and then reinforcement, training applications. Then we get into actually teaching the basic behaviors, or what we now are beginning to call life skills. So those are what in the old days would have been called commands, and more recently cues, their behaviors, and we call them life skills as well. And then into the second column, we get into some of the more advanced things. So then it's dealing with behavior problems, barking, jumping, that type of thing. Then into teaching private lessons, teaching group classes, working with humans, where we bring in our human clinical psychologists and work with how to deal with human behavior change, health and science, sports, working dogs, and then a huge module, probably by far our largest module, which is advanced training behavior, which does cover reactivity, aggression, stress, fear, phobias, things like that, real behavior modification work, and then into animal advocacy, and then finally ending with the business management and marketing and branding. So that's a pretty comprehensive collection. Within that, again, we have deep dives. We do have a syllabus that I can share later that sort of shows you a list of every single lesson within each of these modules and how they're broken down in chapters as well. Then we have the InPerson Track. So that's the Dog Trainer Course, online course. The InPerson Track is an add-on, which is a 10-month add-on course, approximately 10 months, and that supplements and goes on a deeper dive than what it is. There's no different content per se. It's not like you're learning more or more advanced things. You're just going deeper in the things, in the pieces of content that you study, and you're doing it in a group environment. So it starts with 90 days. You'll have your faculty advisor from your online class, and we begin with cyber classes. We'll start right up, which is essentially live webinars with faculty members in Victoria throughout. So that's 3 months going through modules 1 through 8, give or take. And then we meet for our first virtual intensive. So it's a byproduct of COVID, which actually we pivoted to this and ended up liking it so much that we agreed that it was the best strategy going forward to shift some of our in-person work to virtual intensive. So we meet via Zoom for 2 amazing days, then come back, continue on with modules 9 through 11, more cyber classes, continuing online lessons, meeting with your faculty advisor, and then back for a second virtual intensive, another 2 days. Where we meet, and you actually do train dogs, and you actually train Victoria's dogs and Lisa and Brad's dogs, for example, as you're working remotely. And we've found some really cool and powerful ways to be able to help accomplish that. Then field training, 60 days. And this is where we introduce then for InPerson Track students, a local mentor for you to shadow. You're still with your faculty advisor, but we also add a mentor to that. And we get into group lessons, private classes, human behavior change, things like that. And then finally, towards the end of the course, a 6-day in-person intensive. We have them, we'll get into it in both Atlanta, Georgia in the US, and in Wigan, Lancashire, in Joe's backyard, not literally, in the UK. And those are enrolling now. So we have 6 days, the entire in-person track is enrolling now, and this is the culmination of that. So it will happen in 2023, in March and April of 2023, depending on the class. And then a final 60-day assessment period where we have a final enhanced assessment with written exams. You're continuing with your mentor and your faculty advisor, finishing the online study, continuing with cyber classes, and that is the online in-person track add-on course. So just to recap, online only, the DTCOL gets online lessons, faculty advisor time, knowledge assessments, skills assessments. You get learning guides. We have the engagement activities. There's discounts and access for all DTC and IPT students to other organizations and partners and products within the Positively world and elsewhere. And at the end, you graduate with a VSA CDT, Certified Dog Trainer designation. The in-person track, you get all of that, obviously, but you're adding on cyber classes, the in-person intensive, 2 virtual intensives, mentor shadowing locally, class meetup events socially with your cohort of students, and enhanced assessments. and the VSA Certified Dog Trainer in-person designation. So that's a somewhat brief overview of our 2 tracks. These are our dates for the upcoming classes. The US course start date starts in just over a month. When we say course start date, it's important to say that that just means it's the first cyber class. You don't have to travel anywhere on June 24th. In fact, the only travel for the US class would be here next February 23rd through 28th, and that's for the in-person intensive. Beyond that, for the in-person track, you don't need to travel at all until then. Everything else is done from home or with a local mentor. The UK class starts about a month later, so it starts in July. Again, though, your only requirement for not being at home is for 6 days in April 1st through 6th for the in-person intensive. We do have actually, you know what? I'll stop there. I'll say we've got an exciting promotion that we're excited to share. We'll do that at the end of this for in-person track and online course enrollments that are starting soon. But for now, I'm going to stop there because the reason we're here is for you to ask us anything. So we had a bunch of questions come in, and I would like to start, and it actually starts from where we just were. So I'll actually take this first one, and it says, how often are the courses offered within a year? This is Crystal from Tennessee. Oh, by the way, please enter, if you have additional questions, please use the Q&A feature in Zoom, not the chat. I mean, you can put it in chat, but ideally so that it could get answered officially, hopefully now or in a follow-up session. If you could go to the Q&A and enter your question there. Our team will be answering those questions via text as we go. So if you have additional questions, please put them there, and or also scan to make sure someone else hasn't asked your question already to keep it clean. Not clean in that way, but to keep it organized. So first question, Crystal from Tennessee, how often are the courses offered within a year? So hopefully that's clearer now that the online course is open enrollment all the time. We feel strongly that we want to be able to provide a learning experience for everyone who needs and wants it whenever they need it, without specific, you missed a window to enroll, or there's a sort of a marketing gimmick to being able to keep things away and then only open it at a certain time. We make the course available 24/7 to start at any time for the online course. The in-person track obviously has specific enrollment periods because it's a structured, timed course with specific dates involved, and you need to be involved from the beginning of those. So the US class starts in about a month, so it's registering now. The UK class starts in about 2 months, and it's registering now as well. So that is our first question. Let's go with the second question, which is from Nicola in Norwich. Says, I want to do the full course, but I'm moving to France on the 1st of September, assuming to France from the UK. So moving in September, can I still do the course? So why don't we start with Christina? I know you said you're in the background, but can you sort of talk to that for just a moment about being able to do the course remotely or with a move in the middle of during the course?
I absolutely can. So yes, you can do the course really from anywhere, as long as you have a good internet connection, because everyone starts with the online course. If you choose to add the in-person track, you need only travel one time, either to the UK or the US, depending on which course that you end up choosing. So short answer is yes, you absolutely can do that. Now, the only other consideration is that if you move while you're in the in-person track, your mentor shadowing experience may be a bit different, because obviously you wouldn't be able to travel to that assigned mentor if you move across the country. But we're flexible, we're dog trainers, we think on our feet, so we can accommodate pretty much anyone in almost any situation. So let us know.
Great, thanks. And Joe, you've had some experience with that, I believe, with people sometimes moving to the UK to do the in-person track, and also sort of having people move within things. Is that right?
Yeah, we had a couple of students from Greece who actually commuted. So they did the online section of the course in Greece, but came here purely for the intensives. And we also had Helga, one of our very first students, actually hitched up her caravan and drove all the way from Norway to my backyard and stayed here for 6 months, which was absolutely amazing. She's still in touch with us now and is wonderful. And we had, of course, Jan, who came from Turkey, and he came to the UK and he lived in the UK for 6 months too. So yeah, we've had travelers come and stay. And I don't think Jan actually went home. He moved to London and he stayed in the UK. He emigrated and went through, and he's still here now. He's working as an agility instructor, I believe, in London.
A whole new level to making a life choice. Go ahead, Brad.
I currently have an online student who's hoping to do the in-person track. He is currently living in Canada, but he plans to do the in-person track in the UK. So he plans to travel to the UK for that in-person section. So yeah, travel is pretty easy these days, actually.
Yeah, that was actually one of our questions that we were going to get to a little later that someone asked, is it possible to, even if I'm in the UK, is it possible to join the American track? And the answer is yes. I mean, all you need to be able to do is be up a little earlier or later to make sure your time zones work. The cyber classes, excuse me, meet at 7 p.m. local time for you. But then if you can make it to the in-person track for those 6 days from wherever, you know, we've had people join the US track from Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, and the UK, as Joe just said, from all over as well. So we can certainly do that. Another question now from Angelique in Germany. She asks, Ali, I'm going to have you take this one if that's okay. How are students assessed on their skills if it's only an online course?
Yeah, that's an excellent question, and one that many people have been tackling as we move through this new kind of virtual world in the pandemic. But VSA has been doing this before the pandemic. We've been a virtual school the entire time, and we are quite confident in our ability to assess using all of the technology that we have available. So our skill assessments are conducted with your dedicated faculty advisor via Zoom. You could either record yourself ahead of time, or you could perform them live, which are many of our faculty advisors actually prefer, because they can give you that really valuable feedback real time. As we know as dog trainers, that real-time feedback is important, especially for dogs and for people. So for these skill assessments, there are very specific rubrics of what we're looking for. And one of my favorite things about VSA is that we don't hide those rubrics. We give the rubric to you. We let you know as a student exactly what we're looking for. This isn't a secret. It's not supposed to be a test that you don't know what the answer is. We want you to succeed. So we give you that criteria that we're looking for ahead of time. You have the opportunity to practice with your dog and perform in front of your faculty advisor, get that feedback, and they will help you get to the point where you could pass that assessment. So yes, we have different types of skill assessments as well. Some that require you to use pen and paper, some that require you to focus just on your dog, and then others that work with people as well. And some of them, we are focused on the results. We just want to see, can you actually teach this skill to a dog? And the others are for the process. We want to see every step of the way. And if that sounds overwhelming, don't worry about it. We, just like with our dogs and shaping behavior, we shape your behavior as well. So your faculty advisor is there with you to take your hand and guide you through this process so that it's easy to achieve and hopefully a little fun on the way too.
Great, thanks. And I'd love to hear too on this question from both the student and faculty advisor perspective. So maybe Maya and MJ, if you guys would, maybe Maya first and then MJ. So Maya from the faculty advisor perspective.
Yeah, thanks, Van. And this is one of my favorite aspects of working as a faculty advisor. So I also have a background in university education and teach at the undergraduate and graduate level in group classes, like many of you have experienced. And one thing that I really enjoy about going through these assessments is the one-to-one detailed attention that I can bring to students during the assessment to their actual training work. And that includes in those in-process assessments where we get to start at the very beginning together and watch every step of the way. And also in those results assessments, which even though we're only looking at the end result, we're also discussing and talking about how you got there and what else you might have done and what your approach is. So the way that I think about assessments is not as a test, as Ali just said, but as a real chance to mentor and to look in detail at your training, which is something I have to say I certainly never got and would have killed for it. It's an amazing experience to have that kind of relation with a student.
So I actually had the wonderful Tiffany as my faculty advisor. And so I'm in Canada. I did the on-person, the online track. And it was phenomenal because you have the choice to either record your videos or you can do the assessments live. I think with Tiffany, I always did the recordings just because I have 3 dogs. So to coordinate keeping them separate and stuff. But I actually found the online course and doing the assessments incredibly easy. And each faculty advisor is just phenomenal. So they work with you and give you suggestions on how you can sort of tweak and improve what you've demonstrated. So I found the online course really easy to do the assessments.
Brilliant. Thanks, everybody. Next one, I'll have Vic actually answer this. Everyone could, but I'd love you to sort of speak to it a little bit from Angelique as well in Germany. Do students work with their own dogs or with other people's dogs? And you can speak to sort of going through the assessments on your own as well as what happens in the in-person track.
Yeah, I mean, you can do either. And sometimes we'd like you to work with as many dogs as possible, but we understand that certainly through the pandemic, that wasn't possible, that sometimes people would only be able to work with their own dogs. Some people like to work with their own dogs and then they might bring a friend's dog in and work with their dog. So it really is, it definitely, we try and make it as easy for you as possible. Now, towards the end, sometimes it might require working with other dogs, but if I can put that to Ali, if Ali can answer that as well, what happens then if we want to see assessments and, for example, your dog knows how to sit, for example, yet you have to show with a dog that doesn't know?
Yeah, so we've had this question before, that we've had people that have worked with their dogs and done a lot of different things with their dogs. And what's great about dog training, of course, is that we can adapt it, that your faculty advisor has a whole list of things that they can use to ask your dog to go even further beyond. But what's interesting is that many people may think that their dog knows sit, but our skill assessments really get down into what is it that's cueing your dog to sit. And I am guilty of this as well. Actually, just the other day, I cued Klaus to do something, and my boyfriend said, well, is it your voice or is it your gesture that's cueing him to do that? And I so confidently said it's my voice. And he said, well, why don't you test it? Oh, it was my visual cue. So it's fun to work with your dog, with your faculty advisor. And if you need to move to those adapted skills to teach something new, that's something we can do as well.
Awesome. Thank you. Next question. This might be right up Patrick's alley, I think, given his professional journey. Sandra from Maple Valley, Washington asks, I have been a pet sitter for 15 years. How can I transition to dog training and possibly bring some of my clients into my new business?
Sure, thank you. Yes, you absolutely can transition from pet sitting to more skilled jobs such as dog training and dog grooming. That's what my whole pandemic pivot was all about. And I would say that we maintained a pretty good trend crossover from our prior customer base to our current customer base. What's the value add here that I can present to you guys? It's absolutely, you have to be willing to put in the time to get the skills. But once you put in the skills and you show the value that you can add to your existing customers, those existing customers will go to you because they trust you. And now you can charge more because you have new skills that are worth that higher price. So yes, you can absolutely do it.
I think what's really cool about people's journeys like you, Patrick, is that, you know, like Victoria said earlier, a lot of people, this is their first career. They've always wanted to be it. A lot of them have grown up, sorry, Victoria, watching her on TV.
It's all right, I'm
and
old.
said, I want to do that. How do I do that? Others move to it from a second, third, fourth career, or in your case, you had an existing business and revenue stream from the pet industry in daycare, and you recognize the need that you wanted to, that everything is related to behavior, right? So you wanted to be able to help your clients and offer them qualified, certified behavior and training services on top of what you already do, whether it's walking, sitting, daycare, grooming, what have you. Is that a fair description of kind of what VSA's role was in your arc?
Yeah, I would say that I wanted to move more towards skilled labor, just because where the economy is and what everybody's asking for, and moved away from pet sitting. And this, I would emphasize that this is a great thing. People who are already in pet sitting have a basis of knowledge that they're not even aware of, that you can call upon, and it makes the transition to dog training probably easier than the person who enters it as like an idea like, oh, I'm just going to become a dog trainer tomorrow. The basis of knowledge that you bring with you is a great asset that you can rely on, even if you don't think of it that way. But moving towards skills was my mission, and moving away from less skilled labor was what this was all about, and what VSA enabled me to do.
Brilliant, thanks.
I was a dog walker and pet sitter before I became a trainer. And I, you know, as it was such a long time ago, I didn't really have anywhere to go because I just wanted to become a dog trainer, not a veterinarian, not a vet behaviorist, just a dog trainer. There really wasn't a place like VSA, which is, again, one of the reasons why we've created this. But I have to say that my pet sitting and my dog walking really gave me a leg up when it came to actually then beginning to learn through mentors. And then finally, when I moved to the United States to do my certification, it really gave me a leg up and really helped me understand and work with dogs better.
Great. And I believe, Lisa, Brad, do you have anything you'd like to add there?
Sure. We've had multiple clients or students, excuse me, who were walkers or sitters or groomers come through the course. And as Patrick said, they already have a body of knowledge that they're not even aware of. And bringing that to VSA as well, they've also have a client base that most people starting out training brand new don't have. So if you're already in the pet industry, this is a beautiful add-on expansion of your current business.
And let me just add to that, I can think of one of my dog walking students who the only problem he had after he graduated from VSA was an overabundance of business, because he started doing walk and train, and then he started doing training, and then he needed to morph himself into a few more people, and he was hiring more people shortly after he graduated from the program. So yes, that sound base of knowledge, the sound base of clients can really benefit you.
Great, and we have some questions a little bit later from people who have the opposite question to say, how can I start from scratch? And we'll get to that as well. So it's not, I just want to, we've kind of been relatively powerful, I think, in being able to express how the pivot can work, but it also works when you're sort of filling things from a blank canvas as well, which we'll get to. I want to pivot a little bit here to another question. We had a bunch of questions about how the course works, both the DTC, the online course, and the IPT, the in-person track. So the first one is, how long does it take to complete the course, and how many hours per week are needed? A lot of this is about lifestyle too. Can I be part-time? Can I have another job while I still do it? And I'd say most of our students have other jobs or go to other schools or have lives outside of it. It's certainly not a full-time. It's designed to be a vocational kind of night school that you can take, not necessarily at night, but so we actually put together some numbers that actually I'm excited because some of you guys on the team may not have even seen these numbers before. So we've actually crunched it quite a bit. So in terms of the course breakdown in total number of hours, so for the DTC, the online course, the total estimated hours to complete the online course by itself is about approximately 180 hours. About 71% of that is in taking the online lessons. About 15 to 16% is skills assessments, which you do in your office hours. And then about 13% with knowledge assessments. That's obviously going to be different for different people. Some people are great test takers and can sort of do it and just sort of wing through things. Others really want to take their time, and they're open book tests. So you want to be able to sort of have all your materials around and do things. Same with online lessons. It builds in a little wiggle room. You can do it in a little bit quicker or slower time than 180 hours. Based on your learning style. And that's one of the things we try and build, is to be flexible for different types of learners. Now, when you add the in-person track to that, the total becomes 305. It's not 180 plus 305. It is 180 plus whatever that is to end up at 305. So that, again, all of the DTC components is about 60% of that total. Cyber class is almost 10%, mentor shadowing another 10%. This is literally in terms of time in your week, numbers of hours that you'll be spending within the course. So about 8% of the time you spend as a DTC IPT student would be in mentor shadowing, for example. And then the intensives obviously are more because they're all day and you're traveling, whether you're virtual or in person. And so what we've done then is broken down here what that looks like in terms of how many hours per week you have. You can kind of see the numbers here. If you only have 2 hours a week to commit to the DTC, it'll take you nearly 2 years, which we'll get into in a minute. If you had 10 hours a week, for example, on the flip side, and that you could really bang through stuff, you can finish it in less than 6 months. When you're doing the in-person track, it's a little different. It's a 10-month track. So that right there is 10 months that you'll be doing it. But if you were to add this together and you were able to do 4 hours a week for all of the things that you're going to do, cyber classes, mentor shadowing, office hours, the online lessons, all of that, it would be just over a year. And if you're at 6 hours a week, you can do it in that 10 months. So that kind of gives you an idea of, no one's asking for 20 hours a week, but at the same time, you need to have more than ideally 2, maybe 3 months in order to be able to finish it in a year. Which brings us to the second question, which is, what's the maximum time allowed to complete the course? Different answers for different courses. The DTC is designed to be completed within 12 months. Your tuition covers everything you need to be able to finish in 1 year. We understand life happens, and we understand that every situation is different. You can certainly finish shorter than that, but if you have to go over, you can. We just have a small, relatively nominal fee. I believe it's $295 to extend the course for another 3 months at a time. And the majority of that goes to support your faculty advisor so that they can keep you on their roll. So hopefully that helps clarify a little bit in terms of the timing of what it means. Another question that I'll have Tiffany take, if you don't mind, is from Deborah in Alberta, who asks, we are a charity dog rescue. Do you have charity group rates?
Thanks, Van. So there are actually a couple of scholarship options available. There is a nonprofit scholarship, which makes current paid employees of a qualified institution eligible for a 10% reduction in course tuition. And in this particular case, what may fit better is there's also a group scholarship. So groups of 3 or more who apply, enroll, and pay tuition as a combined entity do also qualify for a 10% group scholarship. So depending on which one you feel makes more sense for your particular charitable group, I think you would probably fit into one or the other.
Great, thanks, Tiff. The next one, another pretty simple one, I think, for Christina, if you could take this. Do you offer refunds? Sarah in Michigan would like to ask you, do you offer refunds if something happens in life where a student's not able to finish the course? Can you speak to our refund policy just for a second?
Sure. Actually, we have a few options. So many options, more than I can probably go into during this webinar, but you can freeze the course, for example. You can take a leave of absence. There are lots of options. And yes, if you do ultimately decide that, no, I need to withdraw from the course, then obviously we would accommodate that as well.
Brilliant, thank you. this is, next one is a big question, so I'd love to get a few different perspectives on it. Maybe we'll start with Victoria, actually, which is Kristen from Seattle asks, what sets this program, the VSA program, apart from other schools and other online content that's available for people interested in pursuing a career in dog training? What makes VSA different or special?
Well, obviously I'm biased because I think ours is the greatest, but also I think if I was somebody looking for a course, I'd be looking for something that I could really utilize in the real world. And that's how VSA is built. VSA is taking from not just my experience, but other wonderful faculty and trainers that have had a lot of experience in the dog training world, is how can we make a course applicable so that when people finish it, they will be able to have enough knowledge and skills and also the confidence to go out there and start a business. I think that, I mean, there's a lot of great schools out there, there really are. But many of them are sort of, they have their focus. Well, VSA is different in the fact that we go, okay, let's look at a typical day in the life of a dog trainer, which there are many, many different components to it, regardless of what you decide to specialize in. And how are we going to put that in a course so that you are going to not be blindsided, so that you are going to have wonderful problem solving skills, that you'll know that you're going to be a highly skilled trainer, you know a lot about dogs, and you know a lot about people, you know a lot about business. How are we going to design a course that's going to tackle all of that and tackle it really well? And that's VSA, and that's what VSA I think does so well. But it's also fun, and I also think, knowing and hearing about other courses, that I don't think there's anything that is as good as VSA is in supporting our students. We support our students, and you've just heard from some of our amazing faculty here. You can see how incredible they are, and that's it. I think the level of support we give our students is beyond anything that's out there. So there's a lot of reasons why VSA in my book is #1, even without my bias. It's a course I definitely would want to take. I've had a lot of experience in very many different training styles and different environments, and my goodness, I wish I had VSA when I started, so that would give me a great foundation. I see VSA as the launch pad, and it's a great launch pad. It gives you such incredible knowledge, and that launch pad truly launches you, so that people now, our students, gosh, they do so many things, but so many of them have very successful businesses. And the most important thing, they are changing dogs' lives and human lives positively, and that's the aim, is to really help and put skilled people out there that can really help people with their dogs.
I agree. I feel like that's, as the mission of Positively in general, and VSA in particular, is about creating future generations of effective, not just people who are passionate about positive training and about making dogs' lives better with people together, and making those relationships more harmonious, but people who are effective at doing it by using positive, without compromising on the principles of what you stand for, of what you've built as the sort of torchbearer for the positive training, progressive dog training movement, to be able to do that. Anyone else care to sort of raise their hand or speak? Yeah, Mariana, go for it.
I think for me, what differentiated the VSA was that it's all from the dog's perspective, right? I've worked with different training styles before, and I tell the dog to do something and they have to do something, and there's a consequence. What I absolutely love about positive training with VSA, it's all from the dog's perspective. Does it make sense for the dog to do it? Is it comfortable for the dog to do it? Is it necessary for the dog to do it? So all of the things that we are being, we are shown how to train these different things, but it's not a do as I say kind of approach. It's more like, does it really make sense for the dog? And for people who are passionate about, dog welfare and animal welfare, that's a completely different sort of way of viewing things, and learning how to teach those things to other people too, so that it starts from the dog not from our perspective. And that's what actually got me in my gut. And that's why I decided to go with VSA.
Yeah, Stephen.
I just wanted to reiterate what Victoria said, because I didn't come into this with much experience outside of volunteering at a shelter. And I graduated 3 months ago, and I did everything that they told me to do. And I've got my website, I have my business. I actually am taking clients already. I've been offered a job with another trainer in town because of my education. And I really haven't been blindsided. The stuff that they told me I was going to run into, I could remember, oh, Victoria said this in that lesson. And I'm not an overly confident person always. And I have been going into the sessions with a lot of confidence. So it's an amazing program.
Thank you. I think someone else had raised their hand. Also, Tara, I believe we haven't heard from you, and you have quite a lot of experience having sent your sister through VSA, being a mentor as well. So can you sort of speak to it maybe from your experience as someone who's been around the industry and seen other products of other schools?
I think the one thing that stands out with me with VSA is that it's well-rounded. It hits a little bit of every part of the science that goes into dog training. I think that the program is so well laid out. When I was looking at choosing something for my sister to go through, I mean, I had no doubt in my mind this was the program that I wanted, not only because it was VSA and the reputation of the Positively, but also because I knew many of the faculty that were on staff and trusted them with probably one of the most important people in my life. And then also, you know, I've seen the program. It is so in depth. It tackles every side of how people learn, and the message that is about the dogs themselves, you know, how we're going to treat them. We treat at VSA, the people are treated the same way. So the learner is treated just like we do, like we say we want the dogs to be treated. And that's not to take away from, you know, the human side of things, but I think it's just important to know that that same level of, it's about the human learner as well. And, you know, there's really no failure. We're going to give you those opportunities to succeed. And we're going to set you up, like Ali said, with the rubrics and everything.
Right. Thank you. I know we could, yeah, Patrick, let's hit that real quick, and then we'll move to some more. I want to be respectful of everybody's time here, including you guys. So, but take it away, Patrick.
I agree and affirm with all that. I will not repeat anything, just to say that I have attended now 4 dog training instructor programs in my 11 years in business, and VSA was the only one I chose to spend a significant amount of my money to send my employees to attend. So if that doesn't speak to it as a choice, like I've been to 4, I won't name them, and that's the one that I chose for a reason. It's designed with the learner in mind, and it's based in adult learning theory, and doesn't compare. There's no comparison. This is the one, if you're going to make the money, this is the one that has already paid me back many, many times for the money I spent sending my people to this program.
Wow, that's wonderful. Thank you. And you touched on it. I know it's central to a lot of what Ali's work is with the curriculum and with how it's built, and that it's learner centered and performance based. I got the phrase right, Ali, where it is about the learner, and we realize we're talking to adults. And that adults who are learning, and adults who are learning primarily, especially in the dog trainer course, exclusively in a virtual setting through a screen. So really appreciate you sharing that, and we'll get into a little bit more of that. I know we only have a few more minutes left, so I'd love to just sort of bang through a few of these quickly. I'm going to say it wrong. Oishi from India. Apologies for the pronunciation. A triple header question. How do we apply? What qualifications are needed, and how much does it cost? First, the dog trainer course costs $3,450 US. If you're in the UK or elsewhere, you still pay in dollars, so whatever the equivalent is. The in-person track costs in the US classes $6,950 total. That includes the $3,450 that you would have already paid to do the the dog trainer course. So a total of $69.50 or $3,500 more. So $34.50 and $3,500. Or in the UK, it costs £5,950 sterling. So that's the cost. There are financing options available where you can pay in installments. We have a partnership with a company called Climb that can give US students at least super low cost loans as well. So there are financing options available. And as Tiffany mentioned, we have a few scholarships as well for different types of discounts. What qualifications are needed? You have to be able to speak English. You have to be 18. Beyond that, the rest of them would all be sort of like corny things that I would say, where you have to want to be interested in changing your life, you know, making a life choice to help dogs live better lives with people. But that's literally it. There's no prerequisite to join. There's no entrance exam. We'll take people who are who barely know what a dog is to people who are working with dogs every day, who want to really supercharge their learning and reach an elite level. And how you apply, you go to the website, vsdogtrainingacademy.com. In fact, I'll show it in a minute. In fact, why don't I stop there before we'll keep going, but let me go ahead and share. We've got a pretty exciting promotion that we would like to share. We are excited that through the end of May, we have a promo code. The promo code is May22. So if you include that promo code while you register, this is for the dog trainer course or the dog trainer plus IPT. But if you enroll in the dog trainer course, the online course, before the end of May, using promo code May22, you will get a $100 Positively Store gift card. You will get a free year of Positively TV, and you will get the ability to gift the fundamentals course to anyone that you choose, which is a $300 course that you can give to someone else. So if you register prior to May 31st using promo code May22, then you will get those three things. We also have, I can jump ahead for a second, a promo for those of you now who maybe are still interested in figuring out whether or not VSA is right for you. For the fundamentals course, which a few people have mentioned already, this is a $300 course that you can often get for $150. It's a 10-hour course. And it's completely refundable if you later enroll in the dog trainer course. Many of our dog trainer course students start with the fundamentals because they know it's essentially risk-free, because if they then go ahead to enroll, then we refund you or give you a credit back for whatever you spent on the fundamentals course. And if you use promo code MAYFLASH, and it's literally for the next 24 hours, you'll get $170 off the regular price for a total tuition of $129, which is the lowest it's ever been. And it's only valid through midnight Eastern time on May 25th, which is in just over 24 hours. So if you use that now, you will get the lowest price that we've ever been able to provide for the fundamentals course. So I'll stop with the promo stuff there. We'll get back to a couple more questions. Pamela from New York asks, some other intensive dog training programs are twice as long, but they ask, this is basically asking, does VSA and or the InPerson Track give an in-depth education to work on more difficult behavior modification cases, even though the curriculum is a little bit shorter? So how do we deal with aggression, guarding, reactivity, stress, anxiety, fear, things like that? I mean, I touched on it a little bit in terms of the advanced training and behavior module, but if anyone would like to sort of take the fact, I mean, I'll start with a super quick tone setter in that we are not a course just about aggression. There are others that we recommend. I know Victoria often recommends Mike Shikashio's aggression course. There's a lot of our faculty work with Melina DiMartini, who's great at separation anxiety. So there are a lot of other specialists in other areas that do things. And we are big fans of those. What the course is designed to do is literally go from 0 to 100, but we don't skimp out on 70 through 100, essentially. So it's, while it's not specifically only designed to be aggression, again, correct me if I'm wrong because I'm not the dog trainer in the room, but that the tools that you'll need to deal with the most significant and serious behavior modification issues that you'll encounter as a dog trainer, you will have all of those skills and knowledge by the end of the course. What you won't have, depending on your particular journey, is the experience that's required. And what a lot of those more advanced level topics require is experience and just sort of just putting in the time and the hours and just sort of trying, failing, figuring it out, not failing, but you know what I mean, learning through a process. So so I feel like often VSA is not often, but I've heard some people ask if VSA is just more of a starter beginner course, and it definitely deals and it is targeted to help beginners, but that doesn't mean it's mutually exclusive in terms of being able to also help create a foundation and a framework. And as Vic said, it's a launch pad to the rest of your learning journey, which you'll always be learning. I mean, everyone on this entire screen would nod and say they're going to be learning about dogs and dog training for the rest of their lives. But Vic, do you want to speak to that for a second?
Yeah, I do think, one of the things we say to students is never feel like you have to take something that is beyond you right now. Never think that you have to go outside your lane. In fact, it's better to stay in your lane until you have that expertise to be able to branch out. And I think that's a really important thing for students to understand, is that you don't have to go from 0 to 100, and at 100 you are dealing with all of the aggression issues. You don't. That really does come with experience. And so but everything you need to know to understand why the dog is doing what it's doing, to understand people's response, and to again have that launch pad to be able to work with it, to specialize, that's what you get at VSA. It's rather like sort of a general practitioner, right? We give you all the tools. Now, if you want to go and as a doctor, you can be a GP or you can be a brain surgeon. If you want to become a brain surgeon, then that is going to require more study, a more focused study afterwards. And you have to go to a place to learn how to do brain surgery. But you have to have that foundation first, and a really, really in-depth, solid foundation to be able to go specialize in those highly those parts of the sort of dog training that are really specialized, because they are obviously potentially dangerous, especially when you're talking about working with aggressive dogs. And so that's why we recommend Michael Shikashio's course afterwards to all our students. And that's why we recommend they go and take the separation anxiety course. And so, I think that's really important that our students kind of, and it's sort of, what I've seen is when I've told students that, they kind of go, oh, thank you, because they feel like they have to be everything and they don't.
Yeah, Brad.
I like what Victoria just said about comparing it to a physician versus a neurosurgeon or heart surgeon, whatever. Sometimes many new dog trainers feel like, well, I'm not good until I get up to working with X, Y, or Z, type dogs. And that's not true. I think if we had better, or should I say more, better run puppy classes and basic manners classes, we wouldn't need those people specializing in aggression. So, you can't be a good heart surgeon until you've had a good kindergarten teacher, or a good elementary school teacher, or a good high school teacher. It all matters. It all matters a lot. So yes, sadly, there is a need for people who specialize in the aggression cases or the separation anxiety cases. But there's a huge need for people to teach good, solid, basic manners courses and everyday dog training stuff that more and more people really need.
So I think the answer then for those that have identified maybe in their journey that they would like to know more about, that they want to be those brain surgeons, that they want to be the people dealing with the aggression cases, is that the VSA, the dog trainer course, certainly covers that, and it creates the foundation to be able to do that. And in fact, our biggest module in terms of content by far is advanced training and behavior. So that's there, but it's also sort of a comprehensive, as you said, Brad, you need to have sort of a suite of tools in your toolbox across all platforms, and that's what VSA, you can't sort of run before you walk. So we'll be able to cover that as we go. I know we're pretty much done. I just wanted to throw out a couple of more and then end with maybe a couple about what the student experience is like from those considering joining the VSA family. So first, just sort of logistically on the InPerson track, there's a few questions. If we wanted to do the in-person track, are the locations all around? No, they're in, first of all, you only have to travel once for 6 days during the course, and that's either in Atlanta or in Wigan, Lancashire in the UK currently. There are sometimes we've done some in California occasionally in different places. We're considering some in Australia, New Zealand. But for now, those are the 2 places. And then another question, aside from the online course being online and the in-person track being in person, are there any differences between the courses, or will the same material be covered in both courses? Yes, essentially there's, as I said, the way that they described like an honors course for my high school student when she started taking honors course, trying to decide between honors or regular chemistry, say in high school, was that you're going to learn the same curriculum. It's just that the honors is going to go a little deeper and a little faster in some of those sort of verticals as you go through it. So it's the same content, but you're going to dig a little deeper with those in the in-person track. How does the in-person track, we talked about this one. If you're in the UK, but you want to join the American track, you can. We've got a few here. Do we know what the job outlook looks like? What's it like for students completing the program? And I actually have we have a page on our site, which I had brought up, bear with me, about our student outcome report. So this is live statistics of our existing graduates. So we can see this was updated just last month. So if we see here, 86.63% of our graduates are working in the pet industry. Just over 10% are working outside the pet industry, and 3% are unemployed. Of the graduates, those that are working as dog trainers specifically, 81%, and 58% of all graduates are running their own business, the other 40 obviously being working with others. About 10% of our online course students enroll in the in-person track over time, and 93% of VSA graduates were happy with their experience. I thought I would also just share just some quick stats. Again, we pulled these just recently. The timeline and pace of the course allowed for success from the students, 96.63 said that. The DTC prepared me for a career as dog trainer. 96 again remained actively engaged throughout the online learning experience. 100% actually, literally everyone who's taken the DTC has said they either agreed or agreed strongly with the fact that they were satisfied with the learning experience. 98% satisfied with faculty, 95% satisfied with the support from VSA, 96.6 with their faculty advisor, 98% felt the knowledge assessments supported learning, and 96 felt the skills assessments supported learning. So with that, let's end with I'll sort of read a couple of questions, and they'll be the last ones that we'll cover here. What could a future student expect the schoolwork to be like? Will there be tests, quizzes? What is the student experience actually like? What's it like to be a student? And I guess with this, we'll sort of end with our 3 students primarily. If someone else feels like they have something to add, they can. But if we could just sort of talk through what's it like to be a student of VSA. You've already all touched on it, I think, to some degree with your other earlier answers. But if we sort of close with that, we kind of talk about what does it feel like going through the DTC and or IPT learning experience? Go ahead, Patrick.
Sure, just quickly, I would say that it's an incredible feeling to have choice. It's an incredible feeling to be part of a community, have flexibility, and be set up for success. I know that's a very corny term, but like I've adopted it all. Like it's everything that I do now is try and set up people and set up dogs for success. VSA sets you up for success. That's what I felt like as a student, having been to 3 other programs, that VSA was the only one that has the flexibility, the learning theory, to help you train dogs, teach people, and be smart in business.
Great. MJ?
Sure. I think for me, because I did have a couple of other careers, and I think for me, it sort of sparked a new passion for learning again. I haven't been in school, right? I haven't learned, following a syllabus and doing all of these things. And it was awesome. I was let go from my previous job, so I had all the time in the world. So I completed the course really quickly, but I could do it at my pace. I could take the time to redo things over and over and over again. And it was really awesome to have the faculty advisor to bounce things off of. So very much like Patrick said, I felt like I had the support the entire time, and could not fail because of the course content was awesome. It's easy to move through all of the modules. The assessments were fun to do. So it was a really fun way to learn a whole new sort of concept. So I really enjoyed that.
Great. And Stephen, our recent online grad and soon to be in-person student.
Yeah, I'm kind of a learning geek. I really love studying and learning, and I'm kind of picky about how tests are written, things like that. And I just, the way it was presented, I did the Building Your Dog's Confidence free course so that I could see how the course worked. And I just loved the format. These, just my notes. This was the, and we got like here before we even started talking about how to teach sit. So I loved the science. Yeah, I after the first month, I'm like, this is so amazing. I like sent my tuition off for the in-person because I just need more. But I feel like I'm a good trainer. I'm beginning, but I really do feel like the faculty advisor, who was awesome, actually, I felt like she was in the room with me. And I do feel that I'm just thrilled with it.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's great to hear. Obviously, it's positive reinforcement for all of us, right, that did it. And I can hear Allie's heart singing as you say, I'm a learning geek and everything. And so we'll sort of wrap up there. But Allie, anything sort of just generally to share, sort of hearing all of that positive affirmation for you, and in terms of how you've helped us sort of build the adult learning experience part of what VSA represents.
Yeah, I would say thank you so much, Stephen. The words are very kind and reinforcing. I will say that I wanted to share one of our in-person students, I believe from the last year, said that she struggled in school, as I did, actually. I struggled with a lot of test-taking anxiety. And we've had many students that said that they've struggled in school in the past, and coming to VSA, they felt heard, and they felt like this program truly was made with the adult learner in mind, which if you're over elementary school age is you. So we built this course to complement the way your brain works, to work with the way your brain works, to help drive home those adult learning principles so that it's easy and you don't have to fight it. So if you've struggled in school before, this really is supposed to help work with you. And the best part is it was made with not only one of the best dog trainers I know, but also one of the best actresses I know. So it's very entertaining as well. It's fun. It keeps your attention, which is one of the biggest struggles in learning. And so it's something that we hope will keep inviting these students that have struggled in the past.
That's great. Thank you. And I appreciate you, Stephen, mentioning the free course, the starter course, the Building Your Dog's Confidence. You go to the VSA website, you'll see it everywhere. You can enroll in a free course, just literally to see what the SLC, the Student Learning Center, looks like and what it's like to take an online course with us. Obviously, you've also got the fundamentals course, which is fully refundable if you take it. And remember to use MayFlash as the promo code for that to get it for $129. And then finally, remember that for anyone interested in the dog trainer course, if you use promo code May22 and enroll before the end of May, you will get everything there on the screen. With that, I will wrap it up. We'll let Vic sort of send us home. And I personally would like to thank everyone on this panel for taking an hour plus out of their day to help share their experience from all that. We are blessed to have an amazing team of people who run the thing, who help teach the thing, who help support the thing, who are involved in consuming the thing. It's the family at VSA is really, it's really a special group, and we feel blessed and honored that all of you have placed your trust in us to help so many find their journey forward in their professional pet industry arc. So Victoria, you want to send it home?
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. All of you students, you prospective students, we hope that you choose VSA. We hope you choose dog training as a career. It's a really amazing career. It has afforded us to do so much wonderful experience working with dogs, meeting amazing people. It is just, you know, you learn so much about life being a dog trainer. And yeah, I was an actor before, and dog training was my survival job. And then I made it my #1 job. And from then on, I didn't look back. And yeah, I did have an idea for a TV show, which is obviously, you know, gave us a good platform to be able to help people around the world. And that's what I think you'll get from this faculty. And that's what you get from this course, is that we are here, we want to help, and we want to give you the knowledge so that you can make a difference in your communities in as small a way or in as large a way as you can. And I want to thank my husband, my partner in crime, Van Zyler, because he puts his heart and soul into this. And it's because of his absolute incredible talent that, and his passion as well, even with his less dog knowledge than the rest of us. He knows a hell of a lot, and it's because of him that VSA is here. And I just want to thank him for putting this together and for also being such a great CEO. Well done, everybody. Thanks, everyone. Bye.